So I hope you guys have, read this up, and I hope you guys also have the answers ready. So now means what I'm trying to do here. The thing that I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to tell you that, my dear friends, here, solving these particular questions, it is actually very much easy. If you only try and think that what can be done here, okay, if you just think that what can be done here, okay, you can easily solve these particular questions like that. All right. So when we talk on this scenario, what do you understand? That consider the following statements. The Mauryan pillars, they were constructed in segments and cemented together like the Achaemenid pillars. Okay. The lion capital of Ashoka was built to commemorate the conquest of Kalinga. Okay. And the Ramapurva bull capital is made of polished sandstone and shows a Persian decorative influence. Which of the following statements is not correct? So this is what is being asked here in the particular question. So here the aspect what we are trying to understand is that if you read through the particular Achaemenid pillars versus the Mauryan pillars, you will be able to give this particular answer. So let us just eliminate things up. Here they are asking that which of the following statements is not correct. So the Mauryan pillars, they were constructed in segments and cemented together. Was it? Why? Because as far as I have read, so the Mauryan pillars, they were, generally, constructed in a monolithic rock. This what you see was a monolithic shaft. Okay, then there was another thing that was added, that was the abacus capital and then the crowning animal. However, the Achaemenids, they cemented various sandstones together, and that is how they are going to create the final level. So this was not similar to the Achaemenid in this aspect, it was different to the Achaemenid. So the first statement is wrong. Second is the lion capital of Ashoka was built to commemorate the conquest of the particular Ashoka on the, you know, conquest of Kalinga. So the lion capital of Ashoka is where? It is there in Sarnath. Now, because it is there in Sarnath, now what do we know? That in the Sarnath, what had happened? Ashoka, he had created the Ashokan pillars. First is there were various purposes of Ashoka to create the Ashokan pillar. In those purposes, what do we understand? The first purpose was to demarcate his territory, that these territories belong to him. Second was for any victory. Okay, for any victory. So for the victory, he had constructed, for the Kalinga, he had constructed the Dhauli pillar inscription, okay, or the Kalinga inscription. He had done that. All right, so that was there. But here the third aspect was Ashoka, he also constructed the pillars in order to commemorate Buddhism, okay, and the life or the places that were associated with Lord Gautam Buddha. So here in the Sarnath, this place was very much important for Gautam Buddha. Why? Because he gave his first sermon here at the Deer Park in Sarnath to his 5 disciples, and which was associated with a chakra, that meant the Dharma Chakra Parivartana or Pravartana. So here, that is what we understand. Okay, that is what we understand. So this statement is also wrong. Why? Because lion capital at Sarnath, it was not to commemorate Kalinga but to commemorate Gautam Buddha. So first and second statements are wrong. So what can we say? Okay, first and second. Now let us just understand the third. The Ramapurva bull capital is made of polished sandstone and shows a Persian influence. Now here what you can see is that here there was two contrary things. Here there was two contrary things that were merged together in the statement to create a forceful one single statement. That is what you can understand here. But in this particular aspect, what do you see? There is no two different statements. There is not a comparison. There is a comparison, but there is not a forceful aspect. Moreover, what you can see is that the Ashokan pillars, they were very much inspired from Persian decoration for the polished level. So the art of polish also reached its climax in India during the Mauryan, and it had an influence from the Achaemenid Empire, which was the Persian Empire. So the third statement is correct. So when we talk, okay, when we talk here, we need to find the not correct. So third is correct. So that is why the answer is going to be 1 and 2. So that is how you need to solve these questions. Then next one is consider the following pairs: temples and architectural features. Shore temple, it had the Dravida style with the Vimana. Then Devgarh temple, it had the Nagara style with the curvilinear Shikara. and Bijli Mahadev temple, it had the dome style with the barrel roof. So what do you think is going to be the answer here? What do you think it is going to be the answer here? No. All right. So here when you see which of the above pairs are correctly matched. So when we talk on the correctly matched aspect, what do we understand? That consider the following pairs. Temple, when we talk on the temple, okay, when we talk on the temple, that is the here, the shore temple. The shore temple, if you have heard, it is there in the South India. And the South Indian temples, they were constructed in the Dravidian style and they had the Vimana. The Dravidian style of architectures, they had the Vimana, whereas the Nagara style of architectures of North India, they had the curvilinear Shikhara. Okay, or Shikhar, you just can call it Shikhar. So the first statement is correct. Devgarh temple, you know that it is there in North India and it has a Nagara style with curvilinear Shikhara. Okay, that is there. Now Bijli Mahadev temple. The Bijli Mahadev temple, it is a dome style with a barrel roof. So which of the following statements is correctly matched? Now the Bijli Mahadev temple, now this was a factual one. It has a vaulted roof. Okay, so the Bijli Mahadev temple, it is going to have, sorry, the Bijli Mahadev temple, it is going to have a wooden roof. Okay, why? Because this Bijli Mahadev temple, if you just would have read the various temples, this Bijli Mahadev temple, it is going to be there in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, and here if you see the barrel or the vault roof, if you have done the Nagara style of architecture, you know that the vault roof is generally done in the Gujarat area and the bordering areas of Maharashtra and Rajasthan by the Solanki rulers. This was generally done by the Solanki rulers. However, they did not have an influence in the Himachal Pradesh area. So that is what we can understand, that no, this could not be there generally. Alright, so that is the another major aspect that we can understand here. Okay, now let's move to the next question. That is, so in this, which of the following statements is correctly matched? Only two. That is 1 and 2 are correctly matched. Then there is, consider the following temple sites. Lingaraja temple Bhubaneswar, Mahabalipuram, then Meenakshi temple Madurai. How many of the above are the particular World Heritage sites? So which one are the World Heritage sites? So you need to talk on that. Okay, which is the World Heritage Site. Now, although all the three sites, they are very much important whenever we talk about the examinations, or if we generally talk about the India's cultural mastery. So all of these particular three sites are important, but not all. It was only one up till now, yet it is there, it is a fact that only one, that is the Mahabalipuram, the Rathas of Mahabalipuram. Mahabalipuram is also known as Mammallapuram, also known as Mammalleshwar. So Mahabalipuram was the area where the Ratha temples were constructed by the Narasimhavarman, the Pallava ruler. So that is why it is known, it was given the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Lingaraja temple of Bhubaneswar and the Meenakshi temple of Madurai, they are not given the UNESCO status. Next one is, consider the following information. Now, when we talk of this, the first one is Surkotada, Gujarat, first evidence of horse bones. Banavali, Haryana, radial streets and toy plows. Alamgirpur, Uttar Pradesh, easternmost Harappan site. Okay, then Kotadiji, Maharashtra, tar and bull statue. So, which one of the following statements are correctly matched? So, here also what you can do is, you can easily, you can easily here solve it up by elimination. Okay, you can easily solve it up by elimination. So here when we see that, we know that only two statements are correct. Okay, we know from the options that only two statements are correct. Now when we talk about them, so the most basic thing is, and the most easiest one is, about Surkotada. It is there in Gujarat, and it is considered that the one of the earliest horse remains have been found here. So Surkotada is correct. And the second one is that you have always learned on the extent of the civilization. Okay, so when we are talking about the extent of the civilization of the Harappan civilization, so in that extent, what do we understand? Okay, so in that extent, we are understanding that the from Manda till Sutka Gendor till Daimabad till Alamgirpur in UP. So the easternmost side, it is going to be Alamgirpur. So the third one is also correct. So which option do we have 1 and 3 correct? It is going to be C. Okay, so we need to be like this. We need to solve the particular questions in this particular manner. That is how we can very well do it. Okay, then the next one is, consider the following statements. The Padranath temple in Kashmir is built in the Dravidian style with a stepped vimana. The temple features a peaked wooden roof slanting outward. It is ornamental with a row of elephants and decorative doorway. So which one do you think here is going to be the right answer? That means here what you have to do is that you have to find the incorrect one, that which of the following statements is incorrect. Okay, so that is where. Think of it. Now, when you look at this, just think of it. The Padrinath temple. Here, what is the whole question about? It is talking on the Padrinath temple. Now they are informing that by, the Padrinath temple, it is there in the area of Kashmir. They are telling, and they are telling that this temple is built in Dravidian style. What have I told you? The northern temples, they are generally built in the Nagara style of architecture, and the southern temples, they are built in the Dravidian style of architecture. So here the first statement itself is going to be wrong. Okay, and we have to find not correct. So first statement is wrong. The second is the temple features a peaked wooden roof slanting outward. Now, if you look at the Kashmiri architecture, even in today's time, you are going to see that the wooden roofs means the wooden aspect is generally integrated with the architecture. So that is what you can generally witness there. So even in today's time, so second is correct. It is ornamented with a row of elephants and decorative doorway. It might be no. It is a very casual statement that in the whole of the temple, wouldn't there have been any single or elephant or any single decorated doorway? There would have been, right? Either some, even if you get one ancient remain there, so it becomes the option becomes correct. So here it is very much wide. So that is why this also becomes correct. Okay, now so that is why the first is incorrect, so the answer here it is going to be A. So you have to look into the question from the specific point of view and also from the diverse point of view. Okay, so that is how you generally solve the MCQs. Next one is, consider the following statements. The Varha Mandapa cave depicts Vishnu in his boar incarnation lifting the earth. The cave entrance is flanked by sculptures of Ganga and Yamuna. The cave is located in the Mahabalipuram, okay, and features the lion pillars. Again, which of the following statements is not correct? All right. So think of it. Think of it that which one is going to be correct. Now, when we talk here on the Vraha, now here as you can see, we know that Vishnu, Lord Vishnu has various incarnations, and from amongst those incarnation, one incarnation is the boar incarnation lifting the earth. And this boar incarnation in Hindi, it is known as Varha. So here the Varha Mandapa cave, which is going to be there in the area of the Mahabalipuram, this particular cave is showcasing this aspect. So somewhere from the name only you can just say that Varha Mandapa, okay, boar incarnation, okay, so same. So maybe would have been there. So the major inclination of this, it goes to supporting this particular statement. All right, so that is going to be there. Okay, that is the first aspect. Then there is going to be the cave entrance is flanked by sculptures of Ganga and Yamuna. And the third one is the cave is located in the Mahabalipuram and features the lion pillars. Yes, it is located in Mahabalipuram. So 1 and 3 are correct. 1 and 3 we know they are correct, and we know here we have to find which one is not correct, and there are only two statements. We know 1 and 3 are correct. Okay, so 1 is correct and 3 is also correct. So which is the remaining option? only 2 is incorrect. So the answer here, it becomes only 2. Alright, so that is how you have to generally solve these particular questions. The next one is, consider the following statements. The shore temple at Mahabalipuram was built by Narasimhavarman II, also known as Rajasimha. The temple complex includes sculptures of Lord Vishnu in Anantasayana posture and a water tank. Which of the following statements are correct? So here you have to find which of them are correct. And the option is the traditional element, that is 1, 2 only, then there will be 3, and then there will be 1, 2, like that. So what do you think is the answer? Just think of it. Think of it here. What do you think is the answer here? Now, when we talk on this particular aspect, what do we know? The shore temple. If you might have looked into the evolution of temple architecture under the Pallava rulers, that is, the first one was Mahendravarman, then Narasimhavarman the first. Okay, then there was the Rajasimhavarman. Okay, and then there was Nandivarman. All right, so these were the people who have contributed a lot in the temple architecture of South India. All right, so the Shore Temple, it was constructed at Mahabalipuram by Narasimhavarman the second, who was also known as Rajsimhavarman. So this was a factual question. Okay, so this is also correct. And the temple complex includes sculptures of Vishnu in Anantasayana posture and a water tank. Now we know the water tank aspect, it would be there. Why? Because the South Indian temples, they are going to have a water tank. Why? Because the South Indian temples, they were constructed in the Dravida style of architecture. Here it would have sculptures of Vishnu. Now automatically this becomes correct. Why? Because obviously it would have at least one sculpture of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, right? So that becomes, because the South Indian temples, they were very much well known for their decorative element, and because they are known for their decorative element, so we can say that yes, these people, they had that aspect. Okay, so that is going to be there. Okay, that is going to be there. All right, so the answer here, it is going to be both. The answer here, it is going to be both 1 and 2. All right, so that is going to be the answer here when we talk on this particular aspect.